Hello, hello, and we're live. This is exciting. It is our Chapter 4 overview, all those brand new chapter dies that I'm really excited to show you. Before we get started, it's worth mentioning that I do have Jess with me, and she's going to be my IT person behind the scenes, sort of taking your comments, answering any questions that might come through. If Jess doesn't get around to answering your question, then we do have some people behind the scenes, not even in this room, in an entirely different room, answering your questions via the chat in here. But I can see the chat here, and make sure that you're, just let us know where you're from, what you're doing, just anything. We want it to be nice and casual and fun.
Yeah, say hey, we'll shout you out. If you have any questions, we'll make sure to get to them. But just say hi, where are you?
Yeah, and where are you from as well? Because I love hearing where everybody's watching from, because we have such a sort of a diverse community of crafters here. Anyway, shall we get started instead of just listening to me jabber on? Okay, so we're going to start with the Thinlit die. You'll have to excuse the fact that there may not be the most organized. If Jess was doing it, it would have been like so organized, but I'm doing it. So we've got Thinlit dies. I've split them into some Thinlit dies, generic Thinlit dies with animals in, and then we've got some of our more interactive. Let's just start, and you'll see. Okay, so starting with, are we switching to the top-down camera? We also have James behind the scenes here. He's doing all the technical camera work and switching back and forth. So he just pointed up at the ceiling, which means we're on the top down. It's very clever here at the Sizzix studios. So let's start. Okay, now starting with this one, I've not picked any kind of order. I love them all. This chapter. Chapter 4 is when we get to be quite sort of experimental, don't we?
Yeah, we're wrapping up the end of the year, kind of going into a new year. We're sort of hitting Valentine's Day, and things like that. So any kind of new festive seasons ready for the new year, and kind of rounding off the.
That's it, and they're kind of more generic, like this die here. Now this one here is called Nightlight, and you can see why. We've got all these lovely constellations. It's by Jennifer Ogborn. Oh, we have somebody. He's going no. I'm just going to tell him anyway. Just focusing the camera. So also, if there's anything sort of out of focus or you can't see anything, let us know, because again, we want it to be a sort of community experience, this, where we can talk and chat and just have fun. So again, this is Nightlight. So you get all these lovely bits here, and one thing I will say about this, all those different sizes of stars, I think make a really unique composition when you're creating, and just this in general is a really lovely one. You've got this sundial sort of thing that you can layer up. We have stars that you can layer up as well, so you can see in this imagery here. I have got a make somewhere underneath here, I think. Actually, Jess, you have a peruse through there, and we'll find a make that goes with this. But we might have the embellished image, which was the first thing that Jess was going for. But I think we might, for this one, just have to use the actual packaging imagery here. But that's it. That's what you get there. And it's an absolutely lovely die set. So the next one here, again, by Jen Ogborn. Now, this set here, I get really excited by it because, one, it's an evergreen die set. You can use this all year round. It looks almost kind of autumny on the packaging here. Hopefully we can see here that, do you know what? Let me get the embellished image. We can see here that we've got blossom on this tree. So it's all pink and lovely. So that's kind of summery. We've got hearts here, if you were to make maybe a Valentine's Day make. And then we've got these lovely orange autumn leaves. So however you choose to color your trees, or which elements to use, can reflect the season or the time of year that you are making for. So there are some absolutely stunning projects with this one. Really simple. This is just so you wouldn't necessarily think to use pink for the tree, but look how well it works here with our 3 different shades of pink from our Color Story range here, and gold hearts as well, all those different gold glitters. Then we have a really nice tag. Oh, that is absolutely stunning. This is the first time I've seen this actual make here. It's really nice there. It complements the ribbon on there. But again, tags are a really great thing. We've sort of matched the background there with some inks. Look at this. Jess, you made this. And I think you deserve the credit for it, because I know that to make these sort of grassy bits that stand up in the background, Jess actually cut into a piece of stencil film using the ends of the trees here. And it's just so effective. It's like trees, this really cool walkway you can see off into the distance. I really love that. And then again, we've used it as a stencil here, where we can spray over it. It's almost acted as a resist, and inking over here where we've left that tree white. It's just a really lovely make. So again, there's multiple uses. We like to do that with all of our dies. Think about all of the different ways that you can use it. So this one here, now this is called Fairy Scene by Lisa Jones, and you can see why. Now this is designed to work with our shaker panes here. And have a look at this. Now this is one of our shaker panes, and it's fit round it, and that turns this fairy scene into an interactive card. Now the embellished imagery here, I don't think does it justice, because you can see the dimension here. You know, you can look right in behind the fairy there, and all of those elements, it creates a little world within your shaker pane there. Or you can have it as a flat image like that one. So that one there is Fairy Scene. Next, this one is so usable. I've used just very tiny elements of it. I've used the elements that come with it without the wreath. I've made for autumn with it. I've made for winter with it. It's really great. So this one is Winter Wreath by Lisa Jones. I love to give a shout out to our designers, because they work so hard, do so much research, and just think about how they can pack that value for money into these dies. All those different ways of using them. They're current, they're on trend, and they're stylish and unique as well. So this is Lisa Jones, Winter Wishes. You can see it comes with a sentiment here. Let's have a look at the embellished image there. And so you can see the size of it here on an A4 sheet, whether you're creating a winter wreath, whether you're creating an autumn wreath. You could even create, you know, a really packed wreath with this one and just have this as a guide. You know, whether it's you could create for Halloween. This is also an evergreen die set. You don't have to use these snowflake elements. So if you were creating a summer wreath, you might just use these in different colors. And I absolutely love this one. I do have some makes for this. Now, oh, yeah, you got, oh yeah, there we are. Yeah, sorry, I found them. But I've got another one here, but it was just the one that I was, this here is just using the wreath. And it's not even being used as a wreath. It's a bit different, this, but this is to show this Eileen Hull embossing folder for later. I'm going to cover that up. That's a secret. But I just thought I'd show it using just the wreath. But then you get the whole impact. Again, we've got a shaker pane behind there, and it fits perfectly around the edge of this shaker pane. It's, again, is that thought that's gone into it from the designers. And this is obviously a winter make using it. Again, this is kind of wintry, but it's a bit more generic. You might use reds and pinks for a Valentine's make. And any set that has a sentiment with it, for me, especially one that cuts out in one go.
Oh, so much easier when it's all joined up.
Exactly, yeah. It saves us so much time when we're crafting. And look at this one. Jess is kissing a boyfriend. Fiance.
I know,
soon to be husband. Yeah. There we are. So now, next, we have, this is Negative Florals. Now, this die set, it comes with a lot of different uses. So a die set like this enables you to use more dimensional mediums. So we have a whole range of effects products. So we've got dimensional paste. We have creamy acrylic paints that have a lot of body to them. And if you use them with a die set like this, you know, if you're die cutting from thick card, you create a stencil that has dimension. So once you use maybe your texture tool to scrape over that dimensional paste and let it set, something like this can give you, you know, a really nice tactile feel. I really like this one. Or you could just, you know, cut it out and it's a card front ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah, loads of uses for this one, I think, and it'd be really nice to see what you guys can come up with that one.
Yes, exactly. And comment as well. I want to see in the comments the sort of thing. Are there any questions so far, Jess?
No questions in particular. We can do let's have a look. A lot of just where you're from.
That's my favorite. That is my I love. So that's where are people from?
We've got New Mexico, North Carolina, Norway.
Norway. So we've got US, we've got Norway, Scotland,
Western Australia.
Wow.
Wales, not far from us.
No, well, we're in Wales, aren't we? We're in North Wales at the minute.
Yeah. When can we expect to see these in UK shops? I believe they're launching this week.
Yes, I think, well, if they're not in the shops now, they're definitely on their way to the shops for you. But go and have a look online, have a look on the Sizzix website. You know, we've done a few lives recently with other companies that are going to distribute the dies. So just have a look online for the dies.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got any more. Denmark.
Virginia.
Yeah, loads of people. I apologize, I'm not calling out everybody's names because there's quite a lot of you. But yeah, if you've got any more questions or any comments, people are loving the dies. I think the tree one was a big hit. And that's one of my favorites.
The tree one, and the tree one is by Jen Ogborn. Jen is a rising star in the die designing community because her dies are becoming increasingly popular as she kind of hits the mark every time with them. So the next dies that I'm going to show here, these are the ones that I've bunched together in my brain. So my organization isn't real organization. I've just gone, well, these ones would be good for Valentine's Day. So I've bunched them all together in that way for some reason. There's probably way better ways of doing it, but let's switch to that top-down camera. Now, this one here is the Cut Pop Valentine. Now, this one allows you to add detail to a card, sort of tone-on-tone detail to start with one cut. So it cuts out. I'm going to bring, let's use the embellished image here. I'll bring this closer to the camera. And if we turn that around, you can see there that what this has done is done a partial cut. So you can actually lift these little heart shapes that also look like the end of flowers, or to create dimension from one cut through the machine. It also includes the extra embellishments on top, which, you know, add liveliness to the card. So you can choose whether to just use these, use that lovely sentiment, love you more. This other one here, you're my favorite. I like that. I like you're my favorite. It's great.
So cute. That'd work for like a friend.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like it doesn't have to be your partner. You're my favorite could be your mum. It could be your sister. Well, if you've got other siblings, yeah. Don't give this to one sibling. But I'm not going to say who I would give this to, Amy. So this one is Cut Pop Valentine, and it is by the fantastic Olivia Rose. So we'll pop this to one side here. Next we have, so this is Doily Heart. Now this one here has a few different ways that you can use it. So you can either choose to have this middle part here, this heart, or if I bring this closer to the camera there, we can see that there is also a version of it that doesn't have the detail cut out of the middle. So this is actually an insert that you can put in the cart into your machine with the thing. And I'll show you how that works here. So here's the full doily there. It's really detailed. Now, in my experience, I found that with a die like this, it's great to use with the precision base plate because it is quite a detailed die. That's what the precision base plate is there for, just to make sure that you get that nice crisp cut where all the pieces fall out that we all love. But here it is with the detail in the middle of that heart, and here it is with the detail kept away. And I think that's just a really nice one. It's sort of a cut and done almost, that you can make loads with it. But also just cutting this on its own, it could be 30 thing that you put a cup on, what are they called?
A coaster.
A coaster.
Yeah.
Could be a
I
coaster.
love this as well. It looks like stitching.
Oh yeah.
So you could even go through with embroidery thread, and you can actually add the stitching onto that little bit, which I think would look really cute.
Oh yeah, that's good. So like thick thread that would
Yeah.
show up around there.
That'd be sweet.
That's a really cool idea. Yeah. So there's the 2 uses for the doily heart. Here are a few of the makes. Oh, just the one make, but you'll notice here we also have them working alongside our shaker pane. So this is the heart shaker pane. So I've put it down here, inked on the heart, and then through here you can just see a little bit of the bling there. So that is Doily Heart. And that one is by, did I say who that was by? It's Jen Ogborn. Of course it is. Now this one, I especially love the packaging image and the embellished image. They're the same thing. Because this is so bright and poppy and colourful. This is, again, an Evergreen die set. So well, I keep saying Evergreen, and I think by now we all know what that means, but just in case you don't, what I mean by Evergreen is that you're not limited to one time of the year with a die set like this. You know, you can use it for, but it has different sentiments. One just says celebrate. So this could be Christmas, New Year, birthday, Valentine's Day, anything that you are celebrating.
Yeah, really versatile, this one.
Yeah, and there's one that says love you. So we've got you covered for Valentine's Day. Happy days. Look at that. The way
So
that
cute.
so we work really hard to learn how to position, you know, elements so that they look really cool, but it's done for you here.
Yeah.
You know, all those bits, those balloons are just composed really nicely with that sentiment
Yeah.
across there as
I
well.
love the size of these as well. Like, they're actually quite large, so they'll take up a good chunk of your card, so you won't have to worry about too much. Or you could even use the sentiment just by itself without the balloon.
Yeah, I
So
didn't
that's
even think of
something
that.
to think about as well.
Of course, yeah, you don't need to use them as the string on the balloon. That is a sentiment on its own. So, and it's got its own little wiggly lines at the side. I love that. And here it is in use with the sentiment. Well, actually, no, it is attached to a balloon. I looked at that wrong. I was like, oh, the sentiment's here, and here's a yellow circle. This is a balloon, and it has. I thought that was an embossing folder for a second. I was like,
yeah.
I thought, oh, where is the balloon embossing folder? But it's not a balloon embossing folder. These balloons have been stuck down tone on tone. Who made this?
I believe Alexis.
I love that. I love this. It's really good.
It is beautiful.
So that one was Balloon Occasions by Olivia Rose. Now, again, this is a really big chapter, so just forgive me if some of the names escape me for a sec, but they're on the back of the packaging, so it shouldn't be a problem. This one, I don't even really need to say anything about it because it's just so cute. I think as soon as I saw this, I was like, I'm having that. And I Bagsy any makes that we have to make with this die set because I absolutely love it. One, I love the rain. Do you know what the name for someone who loves the rain is?
Is it a very sad word?
No. Well, it's a weird word. It's called a pluviophile.
Oh, well, you learn something new every
day.
day.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so I used to be a teacher, and so did you. So we're both teaching each other. So this one here is called Rainy Day. Now, this one has an embossing folder that works alongside it. So it's the Rain Clouds embossing folder. It's there. I will talk in more detail about this in just a bit when we go over our embossing folders. But you can see here, you've got an instant background. Let me bring this up to the camera. So we've got an instant, I was moving that around then to show the light of the thing, but it's a picture. This has a rainy day, cloudy scene in the background, and then these work alongside it. So I'll just pop that back down there until it gets to show itself later. But let's have a look at this.
That shows the size of them really, really well.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's bigger than you expect, isn't
it?
It? It's a really nice... Do you know what? I also have... There it is. This is one. I'm well proud of that, Meg. I'll talk about it in a sec. But look, you get the little dog, the little cat, the Wellington boots as well. And if you have floral dies, which I'm sure all of you at home have, you can, my idea is to put the florals in a Wellington boot, and that's it. Just a Wellington boot on a card, loads of florals out the top, white background, and maybe a sentiment underneath.
Super cute. Love it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a sentiment now. What would you put? And it has to be a pun on Wellington boot. I'll leave that with you, Jess. Okay.
Okay.
Then you get the mittens and a butterfly and this fantastic umbrella. The umbrella is layered, so you can do a different material for your umbrella pole stick handle, and a different one for the umbrella. But this is the make that I created the other day. This was for a live with another crafting company, but I used those little elements and turned them upside down to create a reflection effect there. But look at that. This is just pop it down, bit of foam tape behind there, and then something like that's done. And you can use inking with this really well. So that's makes it one of my favorites. So that one was Rainy Day by Olivia Rose. And Olivia is fantastic at using the, designing little characters.
Sorry, I've just laughed at somebody's pun. If we could just come to the front-facing camera, James, and then we can just read through a couple of comments.
I love stuff like this. It's a pun war now.
Yeah, because Carrie Brett said, "You are beautiful."
That's amazing. That's a really good sentiment there.
That is great,
I'm
isn't it?
really gutted that I haven't thought of it.
I know, I'm not quick enough for these things, but yeah, loads of people are loving the rainy day dies. This made me laugh as well. Nina said, "Send my favorite card to each child," and then they're all the favorite.
Yeah, and they're all there, going like not telling each other that I'm mum's favorite.
Yeah, no questions, but I was just going through and
that's
having a look at some of the comments.
Keep the comments coming, because stuff like this, it makes my day. Let's switch back to that top-down camera, because this die set here, it's called Birds and Blossoms. It is called Birds and Blossoms. Yeah, I didn't even have to look at that because I used it the other day. In fact, I made this very simple card, and I thought I was very clever. But only if you know that this is meant to be a hummingbird. And I think it could be a hummingbird for if you decided it was a hummingbird. Yeah. So I put the sentiment, because it's a hummingbird. But then I showed it to Pete and he just didn't get it. And so I was very embarrassed. But this is just using the bird on its own.
It is.
But look at this. This is the embellished image. Now, every bit has got an opposite part, so it reflects. It's a mirror image. The whole thing, it makes the whole thing symmetrical.
Yeah, so you have two of almost everything, so you can have that mirror image that you create on the image, on the embellished image. And what I like about this is, again, you can see the size really, really well.
Yeah.
And you can see the size of the elements. So obviously you can use one of the birds by themselves, but then you can have them facing each other. You can do the corresponding flowers and all the extra little swirls, and that's really, really well thought out by Lisa, who designed this die.
Oh yeah, Lisa. Sorry, I forgot to mention the designer. But that's an appeal in itself. When we know this is a Lisa Jones die, we know it's going to be absolutely fantastic and well thought through as well, because you don't actually have to use the extra detail on there. If you just cut that out, there's embossed detail on the actual die cut pieces. So that's really cool about this die. So on to the next one, which is, okay, so this one is by Jen Ogborn. It is the Arctic Animals die set. And how cute are those? And then we get all these background bits as well. So this one has a nice sort of floating icicle, or you could use that as a volcano. We'll talk about, well, I won't go into too much detail. Do we have the embellished image for this one?
I couldn't find it, no.
I was, do you know what? I think I used it. Yeah, it's my fault. I used it the other day, but in the, when I was looking at the embellished image, I was thinking you could use this iceberg as, with these splashes here to create a volcano if you wanted.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And that's just, I mean, that's by the by, because the die on its own is fantastic. I don't think we've seen an orca die before. I've seen penguins and seals. I'm not sure about a wolf, but an orca, that's really new to me.
Cute. I love how the little splash kind of looks like a heart as well.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Do you think they did that on purpose? They must have done. And that'd make it a nice little Valentine's Day card. But yeah, this is one of the makes I've made with this. This is just using that little, I was going to say snowman, but I meant penguin with this really lovely stamp here. Just a bit of inking and layering, and that's it. But again, that shows the size of them. So I think we've been on trend with the size of the dies this year. You know, when we're looking at what people want from a die set, maybe dies that give you a bit more coverage, sort of what people want. So that's what we're doing. This one here, I did a video with it the other day, James and I, and we made a really cool background for this because this is a creative play die. And what that means is that it's a great opportunity to make something with it and then play with the die with your children. So your little ones will be able to fit their fingers through it. I can't fit my fingers through because the finger holes aren't meant for men with big fat man hands. But you can fit your dainty fingers through there, can't you?
Yeah, I wonder if do you want to come back to the front-facing camera so we can show them how it works?
James. There we go.
So I can just about fit my fingers through. It's kind of like one of those things, like if you try on somebody else's ring and then you can't get it off.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if to decide,
you can do like a 4-legged one, or you can do a 2-legged.
Or I could do a short-legged lion. He's got stubby legs, but it's a great one to be able to, you know, play with because playing with finger puppets, and this is coming from an ex-primary school teacher, playing with, you know, creating stories, doing puppet shows and things like that. It's really great for learning narrative, learning storytelling, you know, just problem solving, thinking skills that they developed through play with toys like these.
This is so cute. I'm not embarrassed that I turned 30 last week, and I'm happy to play with these little puppets.
I'm not going to get them off you now.
I'm in my element. I'm just like...
You go and play in the corner, and I'll carry on with the live. But yeah, and the other thing about these is they're very cleverly designed in that you can have them as a lion because they have the mane here. We can also have them, we're going to go top down, as a panda bear, a brown bear. There are also, I don't think I've actually brought them with me. They're probably down here somewhere, but you can make cats with them as well. So I'll show you here. Oh, there we go. If I zoom in here, let's have a look. It's probably going to be out of focus. There you go. You can see those little cat faces there. So you can have just house cats, lions, panda bear, bears, and I bet that you could think of even more things to make with these dies.
Definitely.
Okay, so they are the first lot of Thinlit dies. Now, the next few sections are going to be just about the interactive or 3D dies.
I'm just seeing if there's any fun comments or anything. What are we saying? Alexis, one of our lovely designers, says she can't wait to use these finger puppets with little kiddos in her life. Definitely, I think they'd love making those.
I'm going to take them, but Susie will have to use them with Maisie.
We've got a few questions. When are these available for purchase? I think one of our lovely moderators from Sizzix already answered it, but they are available now on the website. So I believe they launch on the 1st of October. So you should be able to get your hands on all of these dies and all of these designs that we're talking through. So head on over there and check it out. But everybody is loving all of the dies. That's all I have to say. That's
great. I mean, when the comments are just kind of really lovely, positive comments, we just read them for ourselves. But when it's a question, that's when we read them out mainly. Excuse me. It's always when you're in the middle of a video, isn't it?
It is, unfortunately. Always happens for me on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so are we on the top-down camera? We are. Now, this is the heart slider card. Go on, do what you...
Your microphone.
Ah, there we go. My microphone's for Jess is fixing my microphone. Thank you very much. Okay, this is the heart slider card, and you can see why it's got this it's got a 3D element, this. So it almost acts, it's got a sort of pocket. Here's, we got the embellished image. We'll bring that on in just a sec. But it's by Olivia Rose, and it's an interactive card, as are all the cards that we're showing just right now. But you can see it looks like this once you have made it. I'm not sure that little heart's meant to be upside down there. I think it's gotten caught. But then you can pull it out, and it has a message in there. And I absolutely love that. Can we see that? It says, I will always love you. And now I have that song in my head for the rest of the day. This one here, we have Just to Say. And do you know what I like? Because I haven't seen these dies in so long, I actually don't know what it's going to say. Just to say, love you. I really love that. So this one here is the heart slider card. And I think that's a really great one for an interactive Valentine's Day card, or just a card year round to tell someone that you love them. Next we have, so I'm going to save the floral one till last, and I'm going to look at these houses here. These are called Seasonal House Gift Box. Now this is a 3D die set, but again, it also has elements that come with it. You can see here, it's got these lovely little potted plants at the front. It has a wreath and a door. So you can you can see on the imagery here that there are different types of doors. Or you can make the same door from different cards rather to create different styles of door there. And the same thing with the windows there. We've got little grass and florals that can go around the side. We've got a roof. Now, I think of things like a gingerbread house when I'm on there, or, you know, something like that. If you were making for Valentine's Day or Christmas, I guess Christmas would be gingerbread house sort of time of year, wouldn't it? Or just the festive season. But this one is a really, really great one. And also they work as a gift box as well, of course, which means that it's not just a really lovely thing that you've made. It's also something that you can put a gift or a surprise in. I would love to use this just to, I don't know, send someone some jelly beans or something like that. Absolutely love that die. Okay, next is the, this is called the multi-phrase pop-up. And I really like this one. I like this one for the elements that come with it. In fact, I made a card with just those elements. It's here. Now, you can see this card here. This is a die set on its own, really, but it also has this interactive element here. So I took the owl there and a few of those little elements, and I just stuck them round. Owl, see you soon. That's very clever of me. But as I say, this is an interactive die set. So I'm going to show you. Oh, Jess has already got them for me. Turn around to find them. This is to get an idea of size as well. It's so cool. Now, as you move it up and down, these bits sort of pop out there. Can you close these? Do you know? Are they designed to be closed, or?
I'm sure you could, yeah.
I'm sure you could make this so that it closes properly. I don't want to. The reason I don't want to ruin the make, but I'm absolutely sure that you could do that. But it's just a really nice thing in itself. Imagine opening a card like that, or having, rather than a card, having this displayed sort of on your windowsill or on your mantelpiece with that lovely message. So the messages say, we've got, oh, what joy. We have winter wish with this lovely bear. We have best day ever. And time for fun. So you can see there, we're getting all of those sentiments, and they're quite sort of evergreen, aren't they? You can use them all year round.
Definitely. I think that's a really good one to have in your collection, because you're going to use it literally all year round for so many different occasions, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the multi-phrase pop-up card by Olivia Rose. Very clever, Olivia Rose. I find that she's very good at thinking of the way interactive cards work. So this one here is the Pom-Pom flower. And what I find interesting about this is that when you're reading it, the different languages here, there's Pom-Pom in English, and then Pom-Pom with an N at the end in another language, Pom-Pom Floral. So I wonder what language that is. But it's interesting.
The things you notice.
Yeah, the things I notice. But this is a really lovely one. It's a pom-pom flower. The imagery says it all with this one. On the imagery, we've made it with some of our crepe paper. And it's just really nice. You can see here that the size is pretty much exact as it is on the packaging there. But let's have a look at it in 3D. Now, you're the floral expert, but what I would say about this is that it's an easy one to put together.
Yeah, so you can see on the actual metal, they come in strips, and then there's little cuts all along here. So all you need to do is you overlap these little where these cut and glue them, so you get a little pinch at the bottom of each flower, and then you wrap them around in kind of a spiral, and then you create that pom-pom.
That's so clever. I'm so impressed by the fact that you can think of this sort of shape. It's time saving, it's an easy activity and an enjoyable one, and you can create something that genuinely, if you get it right, if you work on it, looks real.
Definitely, yeah. I was trying to find the bouquet that I made.
Jess is amazing at making bouquets. When you look at Jess's desk in the Sizzix studio, it looks like she's a florist, not a designer, because the flowers look so real. So that.
More comments.
Let's have a look at the comments while I check where we're up to.
Yeah, I should post a picture of my making space online so everybody can see it, because it is literally there's flowers everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, there are. I mean, it's really eye-catching, because some of them I just think like, has Jess just brought flowers in for herself? Has she treated herself?
No, we've got a comment from Lisa that I wanted to highlight. So Lisa Jones, who designed some of our amazing dies, and the pop-up one that we have before, she did say you can close this, so it is designed to be closed. So just bear that in mind if you're wanting to grab this one. You obviously can close it and send it.
That's interesting, because I've realized now, so Lisa's cleared it up, you can close it, but in a video that I had done recently, someone said, well, can that close? Because Josh looked like he was struggling. The reason I was struggling is because if you choose to put some of the embellishments in certain places, it might crease it if you do it. But if you're making it to be closed, then it's easy to do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can close them. So from the designer herself.
From the designer herself. How cool is that?
But yeah, no more questions or anything I wanted to highlight. Just everybody again.
See, I'm reading the comments, and it's really like, it's stuff that we shouldn't be reading out, because I don't know I'm going on, but we only have a certain amount of time in the video. But they say things like, so darling, stunning, love it, such a cute idea, hello crafty friends. I love all these little comments coming through, but we do read them, so keep them coming. Okay, so on to our stamp sets here. Now we've got some stamp sets, but we've also got some stamp and framelit sets, and I'm going to do it this way around, because it sort of feeds in better for me in my brain that way. Now, these two sets here, so these are stamp and framelit sets. And what I mean by that is they're dies that are designed to work alongside stamps. And this one is so cool here. They're both fantastic. Let's start with this one here. Now, this is by Olivia Rose. They are both by Olivia Rose. And it is called Decorative Leaves. And it has the framelit shapes of these leaves, but it also has some stamps that the leaves fit around. So you've got the detail if you choose to use it. And I think I did see a card earlier that I've probably lost. It might be on the bottom here.
But there's also one on the background at the very top.
Shall I reach it for
you?
Ooh,
there we go.
That's so cool. When I was looking up there, I thought that was a photo. But there's also another one where they've used the leaf on its own, and they cut it from gold. I've lost it, but just trust me, it was very, very lovely. So this one here, again, it's the Decorative Leaves. It is a stamp and framelit set. You're going to stamp on here, and then the framelits, you can see through them, so you can really frame these up. And have a look at this one here. Now, this is called Floral Safari. the lion here, and I was talking to Jen Ogborn about this, the designer Jen Ogborn. I was saying, oh, how clever is it that you can have the lion, and if I just bring that up there, you can have the lion on its own, but then you stamp his mane around him, or her if you choose not to have a mane. That's right, isn't it? Female lions don't have mane. I know that from watching a certain film by a certain very well-known company that I probably can't say. And it has all these really stylized animals here. They're very well drawn out. So something like this, when you use it on a make, it turns, instantly you look like a very skilled maker, because it's all stylized. And also these stamps on their own, the floral elements, they're tiny and detailed. It makes it look like you can draw really well. I just love stuff like that. It also has a sentiment there that says wild
and free.
And free. Wow, of course it does. Well, it's sometimes it's difficult to read them backwards, but I should have just looked at this, shouldn't I? So let's have a look at some of the makes with these. We've only got some of the makes with the decorative leaves. Unfortunately, I think the other ones that we've done have been sent off somewhere.
I think Jen Osborne actually made some for a blog. So they might be on her blog or on her Instagram.
Go and follow Jen Ogborn on Instagram, because the stuff she's putting up is amazing.
Definitely. All the designers have Instagram, so definitely go check them all out.
Yeah. Me and Jess aren't going to plug our own now, are we? I'm not going to plug my Instagram at Josh from Sizzix.
Oh, I'm terrible at posting on mine, I must say. I need to get better.
Okay, so we've got these lovely, so you can you can see that we've used it here with this sort of decorative strip, and that is one of our embossing folders that we're going to be showing you in just a sec. This lovely sentiment here, and I just love that. Just the leaves on their own with that stamped bit, and it's stamped in green as well, which ties in with the color scheme there. Here, did you make this, Jess?
I did.
It's so cool, because Jess has used shrink plastic as a sort of misty see-through background with the leaves on it. I'm stealing that idea and claiming it was mine to begin with. So next we have some sets of stamps. Now we have this one here is called Drawn Frames, and you can just see why. Now the things I love about a stamp like this, what we've started to do now as a company, is make stamps, and I'm really happy about this. A lot of our stamps I've found look like they are hand drawn. So rather than getting, like a proper sort of a proper refined image, we're getting this hand drawn effect here, which we often try to create, but it doesn't go right unless you are a skilled drawer like Lisa Jones is. And so the hand-drawn nature, it's hard to capture. So we have created a stamp for you, so you don't have to try and replicate it with a pen. So that's really cool, that Drawn Frames. I'm going to be using that all the time. And then we've got these teacups here. And now I know that these teacups in this stamp set are designed to work with a die from chapter 2.
I believe so, yeah. I can't remember what it's called.
But if you already own that die, or have a look at our chapter 2 to see whether you can find the dies that these work with, because the stamps that go with them, obviously you can use them on their own and they're lovely, because we've got these lovely sentiments here to go with them. You could color them in, but if you have that die set to work with them, even better. So our sentiments say that is mugnificent, which is amazing. Have a terrific day. This one says, you will always be my best tea. I love these. And thinking of brew. Now, I'm not going to lie, one of the sentiments on this is do you know what? I love all of them, but thinking of brew. No, I'm using that. That's my favorite. I think it's my favorite.
Well, in England, we call a cup of tea a brew.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So maybe for Americans, you might not use that slang for a cup of tea.
I think
in England.
A brew in the US is a beer.
Oh, okay.
I think. Well, maybe tell me in the comments if that's right. You guys from the US, is a brew a beer, because in the UK it is a cup of tea, like Jess says. Anyway, it's a fantastic die set, and that is the point. This is by Jen Ogborn. Absolutely love this. And well done, Jen, for thinking of such fantastic sentiments. I really, really love them. Okay, next, so we actually got some makes using these, and they're also using some of our stencils, which are an exciting new technology that we are going to be talking about. So this one says, "You're my cup of tea," and have a terrific day. I just can't get over how much I like those sentiments. And here's that lovely stamp on its own. But this is one of the teacups, I guess. This is one of the teacups that we were talking about, that these teacups work with. So they are the stamp sets and the stamper frame sets. Now we are on to our embossing folders. So we have already mentioned the rain clouds. That's the one that's going to go and work. It's going to work with the rainy day die with the little dog and the little kitten. That's really lovely. But again, it's just an already done background. This is the size. This is the size of all of these embossing folders. And I'm holding them upside down because the rain goes down, not up. I don't know if you knew that. But you have the raindrops here with the clouds there in the background. If I just move that around in the light, so hopefully everyone at home can see that lovely crisp emboss. And this is a multi-level embossing folder. Then we've got some makes with that. So here you can see on the clouds, I like this one where the clouds have got the rain on them. We have those butterfly elements and this inked umbrella there. So cool. And then just the embossing folder on its own with that really cool sentiment. And how cool is that? It's all been inked in it, and the embossing folder, like embossing folders do, is taken the ink on in its own way and just created a really nice composition. So that one is the Rain Clouds embossing folder. Next, we have, now this one works alongside that die that we showed earlier. It's called Moonlight, and it works alongside, thank you, Jess, that works alongside Nightlight. You know, everybody needs a Jess to just do everything for them when you haven't been organized enough. So you can see that these work together. Those moon elements will fit right in on a make like this. And you've got the star elements, but you've also got it all in an embossed background for you. There we are. So that one is Moonlight, and it works with Nightlight. I'll put those down there. Then we have, this is by Kath Breen. That embossing folder, incidentally, that I just mentioned, is by Jen Ogborn. Now, this one is by Kath Breen. It is called Mark Making Hearts, and I really like it. Do you know, I don't get a chance. Sometimes we're very busy, and sometimes it'll be the first time I see or notice an embossing folder that's come through in a new chapter, and I instantly fall in love with it. Have you made this card as well?
I have, yeah, I made these too, so
I'm jealous.
I love this one because you can use this obviously for Valentine's Day and things like that, but I think it would be really nice for like backgrounds of any cards, of any loved one that you want to gift a card to, and like that is just really subtle. So that's just from plain white cardstock, so it doesn't have to be something really bold on your card. It can be a really subtle paired background.
That's it, isn't it? And that's the thing with embossing folders, especially with Sizzix embossing folders. Sometimes that's the whole make, exactly, and it's impressive. So that one there is Mark Making Hearts by Kath Breen. Okay, next. I won't go with this one. We do have an Eileen Hull embossing folder, but I'm going to save that to the very end, where we're going to look at a few Eileen Hull makes here. So this one is also by Kath Breen. It is called Winter Woodland, and it has little squirrels in the tree with little sort of leafless bushes, like bushes are in the winter. We've got some nice little sort of pine branches in there and acorns. And again, that's just a really cool one for around those festive seasons there. So that's by Kath Breen, and it is Winter Woodland. And let's have a look if we've got a few makes. Oh, look at that. They just speak for themselves, don't they? That's so cool. And then we've got this one as well. And this is using our Textural. So our Textural, this is gold Textural. We have it in a few different finishes, but it's perfect for that deep emboss because it has the durability to really, really press in and emboss. There we are. Next, we have Drifting Leaves. So this is by Olivia Rose. We have an embellished image and a make for that. Again, this is some of the Textural, and this is the rose gold Textural,
Yes,
isn't it? Yeah. I've forgot the name of it for a sec. Rose gold, not bronze. It's rose gold. This is a really lovely shade of rose gold there. But again, those Texturals really pick up the embossed details. And look at that. Again, just inking through. You made this, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
So did you ink the actual embossing folder?
I'm pretty sure I did for this one, yeah. So you can, add ink right into the embossing folder, and then it obviously just picks up in the kind of background, and then the raised areas stay.
I love that technique, and there's only certain embossing folders that actually works with, and this is one of them. So that's a really cool technique. Again, you just brayer on some ink or acrylic paint and then emboss it as you would, and the ink or paint won't take to those raised elements. Really cool. Okay, and then sorry, just snatched it off you. There we go. We have two more embossing folders. This one here by Kath Breen. I love the kind of pattern repeat nature of this one. It's called Quirky Florals. And as you can see there, it's just, well, they are quirky florals. I'm doing it again. I'm angling it around in the light to try and catch the light, but this is a photograph this time because we don't have the embellished image on us. But it's just that pattern repeat of a really sophisticated. What sort of flower would you say that is if you had to make it up?
Oh, I don't know.
I want to say daffodil just because of the colour of the thing, but
maybe it's almost like a little dandelion, almost, isn't it, or something like that?
Dandelion, yeah. Okay, dandelion.
But I concede. It kind of looks like wallpaper or something like that as well. Like you know when we were younger. I mean, this is like embossed wallpaper.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that, like the designs on that. And I think that's actually coming back around. It's kind of
retro.
It's
coming back, yeah. I think you were skirting around the word dated then when you said when
retro.
we were younger. Yeah, it is coming back.
That's cool.
This one here is called Forest, simply Forest. Now, there is another die set that works well with this embossing folder. I can't, for the life of me, remember which one it is. Well, I mean, Jen's going to kick me later because she was telling me about it. But again, any kind of, the trees. Yeah. So the trees that we looked at earlier, this has been designed with those trees in mind to sort of match because we've got the same or a similar tree in there. And here is an embellished image.
With the silver textural, obviously.
Silver, yeah, that's it. Silver textural. This one's rose gold, and then we've got gold as well, and we've got tan and white, and we've got loads now, actually, haven't we? But again, it's that pattern repeat with those forest trees there. And here are some makes. I'll hand that to you. Using that. So this is the one we showed before, and the embossed bit down here is that embossing folder. Again, this is the part that the one that I showed before where I just used the elements of that 3D die, but I also embossed one of my layering up elements there. Absolutely love that. I'm so excited. I really, really like all these. This one is, I get Impresslits are, as Sizzix goes, relatively sort of new technology, aren't they, Impresslits? Because you have the element of embossing, but then it die cuts the shape around that embossed element as well. And here I've done that. I've created it. You can get a really good idea of the size of this. It's just a really nice, elegant. It almost looks like the sort of thing that might be on a coat of arms.
Yeah,
I think. It's like almost like a Tudor rose sort of thing.
That. And I think you made this, didn't you?
Yeah.
I love how you highlighted the emboss with some luster wax. So
yeah.
You can definitely do that with all of our embossing folders, but it works really nicely.
That's a really good point. Yeah, so all of our embossing folders, if you emboss onto a dark color, highlight with some luster wax, and that is one of the most impactful things that I ever learned working at Sizzix. So here we are. These are, I can actually angle these round in the light, and you will see the details there. I'll bring it down a little bit so it's not out of focus. There we go. Absolutely brilliant. And that is by the fantastic Kath Breen. Okay, on to our Biggs dies. Okay. I always say Biggs dies. It reminds me of the word pigsties. And I have to try and enunciate my words so that I don't say pigsties, Biggs dies.
With a B. But yeah, actually, it's a good opportunity to see if we've got any comments. Where are we?
So I'm reading over your shoulder here. I keep doing it.
If you see any,
I can't help it. I love reading the comments in there. Okay, we only have a few of these to go.
What's it called again? I don't know. What are you, Dina? What are you referring to when we say what's it called again? Are we on about big?
Maybe the tree die that works with the.
Maybe. Let us know what you meant, and then we'll make sure to answer.
Yeah.
But yeah. Alexis agrees. Reminded her of dandelions, that embossing folder.
Oh yeah, you were right. I don't know what I was talking about with daffodil. I think I actually meant dandelions.
You might have.
Yeah, they both begin with a D.
Everyone's appreciating your dad humour with the all the puns.
Do you know what? My dad humour is next level since I actually became a dad. I think what happens is it's like getting hit by a bottle. You know when a superhero gets hit by a bottle of lightning or something, they've got powers. That's what it's like for me. And sometimes, just saying absolutely terrible jokes is my superpower.
And Alexa's also confirmed that a brew is beer in the US.
Yeah. So I thought so. Yeah. So I couldn't wake up in the US and go oh, I'm going downstairs for a brew, because people would be like, it's a bit early.
Dina said that pigsties. She said, ask what it's called again, because she wanted you to say.
Oh, pigsties, yeah. Biggs died. Big, so bit.
And the impress slit. Oh, that's what she meant.
Oh, the impress slit. Do you know what? I think that's a really good shout, because I didn't say what it was called. It's called Adornment. That's a really great question. Yeah. Okay, so on to our Biggs dies. Now. I'll get out actually some of our makes with these. I'll hand them over so that Jess isn't having to reach across. There we got these, and then I think that is it. That's all we got for those. Okay, so actually, we do have a make for this that I put right down here, and it's an absolutely lovely picture of one of our fantastic designers, Alexis, and her friend. So this die is called Doily. Now this, for me, Doily is typical chapter 4. I say typical, not in a negative way. I mean, this is what we mean when we're talking about it's that sort of generic nature that can fit in most of the year, but also it still is festive. It's kind of glitzy, like New Year. We're gearing it towards New Year. You can see the embellished imagery here. This has been cut from glitter cards, some of our gold glitter card. Oh, and here, even better now, I can angle it round like this. And you can see this cut on its own. Now, a Biggs die, as you all know at home, there are more things that you can do with them. So these enable us to cut through multiple layers at once. You can cut thicker materials. You can cut plastic, leather, fabric, felt.
So many different things.
There's so many different things. And this here has been cut from mount board here, or mat board. You can see there. But Alexis has used it subtly here on a scrapbook page, a framed scrapbook page that we've taken out of the frame. Probably used the frame or something else, but and just kind of framed a really lovely, what looks like a really lovely memory.
It's
here.
beautiful. And can I just point out how amazing Alexis looks in this photo?
Yeah.
Like, she looks amazing all the time, but everybody give Alexis some love because look how great she looks.
Yeah. Do you know what? That is a good shout. She's positively glowing in that.
She's very happy.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I'm assuming she's in Hawaii. Is that because that's a Maui?
Oh yeah. Must be.
I'm gel. Okay, so and that die set is called Doily, and it is by Jen Ogborn. Next, we have this die set by Olivia Rose. Now, we tend to get a big leaf foliage die in most, at least once a year, like this, where we get kind of two big ones because they are very, very, very popular. You can create wallpaper with them. You can create stencils. You know, there's loads of stuff that you can do with these. You can make big fake plants with them. And again, with it being a big die, there's loads of things that you can cut. But let's bring on this really cool framed piece there. Now, all we've had to do here, I'm guessing, is backed it with some of our adhesive sheets, cut them using this, and then stuck them down to white card, cut it out.
Yeah, so we've got all sorts of material here. So we've got felt, textural, and then these ones are covered in our embossing powder and our glitter as well.
Yeah, I love that effect there with the embossing powder. That's really great, and it's a really great way of showing some of the different things that you can cut. With a die like that, it also can save you a lot of time if you're mass producing. And that being said, this is, I'm going to say it, my favorite ever Biggs die.
Wow, bold.
Yeah, that is a bold statement. It's by Jen Ogborn. It's called Party Elements. I love it because it works in the same way that sometimes our Thinlit dies, we put all the styling into our Thinlits because of the detail and stuff you can get. But that's been done in this die set here. And we're going to get those big cake, present, and party hat elements there. And they just really stand out. I cannot wait to create my own cards with this cake element here. I really like it. And here's one that someone has made earlier. And we can see we've used embossing. Is that embossing? No, it's.
I think it is embossing powder.
I think it's what's it called?
Crystal glaze.
Crystal glaze. Yes.
I think Debbie Farinella made this one.
It's really lovely. So if Debbie Farinella is watching, maybe you can clear up whether this is. I think it's crystal glaze on there, and it's just absolutely brought out this card with this cool embossed background. So there we are. That is Party Elements. I absolutely love that die set. Then we have, we got two more Biggs dies and then on to just the last little bit, which is going to be Eileen Hull. Now this one here, that is my nephew on the packaging. And do you know what? I only realized that when I went and got the die from the warehouse, but that's really cool. This again, James and I, we created a video recently that will be going out at some point. It's for National Space Week. Next week, I think that's out. And make sure you watch it because just make sure you watch it because it's really fun, that video. James is doing some really groundbreaking stuff with the digital effects, and it's just really cool. This is a creative play die set. Now, I know that Debbie Farinella has made some toys with this. Basically, you can play with this, or you could even put a picture of yourself in the little window. So I put my nephew in there. You can see that Debbie has turned it into a shaker card by using it with one of the Tim Holtz mini domes here, the dimensional domes, and they're designed to work with those perfectly, which turns them into an interactive make, which is just really cool because, you know, if I was a baby, well, I know that my baby, Maisie, would absolutely love just shaking that around. She'd be laughing. And then we've got those planets that come with it. We've got that lovely star that you can do in any of our different sort of materials. And I think Debbie Farinella has used the embossing powder method on there as well to make it shine like a star. There we go. And that one is Space Rocket. And finally, what I love about a set like this is that you buy this once and then you can just keep making these. You could make these and sell them. These are the sort of thing that I see at craft fairs and I think I'm going to get one of those for Maisie or, you know, even for Susie. I just think these are incredible. They're easy to make plush toys. So you got the die, you can make as many of these as you want. And don't forget as well, you don't have to make the plush toys out of them. These shapes could also be used on a card front, you know, to make just normal papercraft card making, or because it's a Biggs die, you've got the option to use felt material. Imagine making one of these with patterned fabric.
That'd be cute.
That'd be well cool.
They are sweet. And I love how, I believe Debbie made these, how she's put like little smiles on them.
Yeah.
They're very cute.
That's so cool. So this one is by Jen Ogborn, and it is called Garden Friends. And you will need a plus size machine, so either the Switch machine or the Big Shot Plus to make with this die. Now, finally, we are on to our Eileen Hull dies. Now, Eileen, everybody knows Eileen Hull because she is a renownedly fantastic designer. She comes up with a lot of sort of groundbreaking technology, actually. The scoreboard dies and things like that, they're really, really cool. Now, Eileen has created, I'm going to start with this one here, which is called Geometric Box Number 1. And that's what it is. It's a box that it's not just a normal box. It's shaped in a really amazing way. Like we've got ours here as a pencil holder or a pen holder even. And you can see here that Eileen's put over a die there and laid it over to create a faux emboss. Now that is cool. I love the way it almost moves to take in what you want, but you could make it not move if you wanted to. It's also got a lid that you can put on it. And now if I move this up here, just to show you, there is a plant in there. Now, what I would suggest is don't water straight into the thing because you're going to make it soggy. But you could put a fake plant in there, and it works as a really geometric plant pot.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So that is the geometric box number 1. Then we have the sunflower. It's a sunflower. It's a really cool sunflower as well. Again, Eileen's put that lovely kind of embossed pattern in the middle of this sunflower. What I love about this is the size of it. So there we are. It's got these leaves that come with it. You can see this is actually the embellished image, and the inking has just brought that out so nicely. You could really create some incredibly realistic sunflowers with this, especially because the leaves look real on there.
They do, with that embossed line.
Yeah, they have the embossed leaf vein details in the leaves. So again, I say it every time, but this is a Biggs die. Now, what you're getting with a Biggs die is, one, the ability to cut multiple things quickly. So layering something like this up with all of these petals, that is not a tough job with a Biggs die, because you can just put it through with loads of sheets of cardstock or felt or whatever you're cutting, and just it's done. Then all you need to do is put it together. We've got examples here where we're using it with felt. So this is our Sizzix felt, but you can use it with material too, or you could cut out plastic, or you could make a leather sunflower. Yeah. The sky is the limit with a Biggs die, and when you have an Eileen Hull Biggs die, it's going to be really incredible and stylish. So that one there is sunflower. Now, finally, this one here, and I don't mind saying this. When I first looked at this die, this embossing folder, I was thinking hard about how I could use it. Then I started making with it, and it's incredible. I so enjoy using this die set because it's called Silverware, and I don't even need to check the packaging because I used it the other day. I was obsessed with this die, because these look real. Especially, I mean, have a look at this. If I move this up, you can only see a segment there of the actual embossed features. I hope it's picking this up, because I enhanced it with a bit of luster wax, and you get these sort of vintage, almost Victorian style of silverware handles.
Yeah.
They're ornate. They look like the sort of thing the Queen would eat her tea with. God rest her soul. So it's really decorative and, you know, floral at the end. It just looks, it's incredibly well thought through. This you can see here is the full embossing folder. Now this is embossed into some of our opulent cardstock. That is the matte opulent there. But do you know, if you embossed this and cut around, maybe embossed it from mirror card, cut round it, you'd have it look like a real 944.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, so do you know what? I said finally,
well,
but actually...
Well, Eileen's actually doing a live right now, showcasing her...
Oh, okay, well, do you know what?
Should we close if she's doing her live? Because we don't want to run over into her time either. But...
No, that's true. But within chapter 4, it is worth showing our... some of our stencils and stamps, isn't it? So we've got the layered stencil and stamps here. Now this is exciting because these are this is a new sort of technology that we're using at the moment. Now, I'm not going to go too far into detail about this because we have lots of videos coming out. We'll just be quick showing these through because we're going to be kind of showing these off loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. So here we are. We have, this is, they're on the front on this one, aren't they? We've got Snowflake. Now these are stencils, layered stencils. We're using them with our brand new stencil and stamp tool. These are the stencil portions of them. So I'm just going to go through. This one is Snowflake. Here is an image of what it actually looks like. And here is a make. And it's a snowflake. It does what it says on the tin, doesn't it?
This one's really nice because it's perfectly symmetrical, so you can use it flipped, upside down, anything like that. And I've used it as a background here, and I think it works perfectly. Yeah,
it's great. This one here is called Heart Wreath. Now, Heart Wreath, again, it's what it says on the tin, but this is absolutely beautiful. The thing about all of these layered stencils is that you use them and then instantly you look like an incredibly skilled crafter because, you know, the design work's been done for you. The inking and layerings made it look very technical, and that's what you get in here. But again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about these. Now, that one is called Heart Wreath. We also have, we don't have any images for this one, but this is called Textile, and it's sort of a macrame style of image, or in the US, they call it macrame. And that's what you get. And just think of all the different colors that you could use this with. Absolutely brilliant. This one here is called Abstract Marks. And I just think it's really cool. This has come from researching the sort of different patterns that are coming out at the minute, and things like this are so popular, especially used with some of those more kind of muted colors. So that one there is Abstract Marks. We also have tartan.
Somewhere.
Do you know what? I actually, down here, there are the tartan ones. Oh, I dropped my mic. Things are starting to fall apart now. I'll just put my mic back on. There we go. And this one is tartan. And I don't really need to go into that, do I?
No, it's a great one, actually, because you can make gift wrap with this one.
Gift wrap. There we are. Have a look at that. That's so cool.
It is. I love this one.
And I know that Alexis has roots in Scotland, so I might send her a gift in this sort of gift wrap. So there we are. This one over here is called Dove.
There we go. And it's a good thing to point out because obviously we've run through these quite quickly because there's quite a lot of content and information about these layered stencils, but you do actually get 4 layers with each stencil.
Yeah.
So you literally just layer them up 1, 2, 3, 4 using our brand new stencil and stamp tool. And then you can choose obviously your colours and you create these final designs. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that's a great thing to point out because there's going to be a lot of content coming out on using the stencil and stamp tool, and it's just so much fun. But we don't have too much time today to go into it. Now, so they are our stencils. Have I gone through all of our stencils?
You have, yeah.
Okay. Then we have the stamps. Now, the stamps are designed to be layered. These are layered stamps, and that means that you can create things like this. Now, this is called Snowflake. And you can use these either as individual snowflakes in any colors, or you can layer them all up in different colors to create something like this. This one over here is called Folk Tree. And because it's in the shape of one big Christmas tree, but it's made out of lots of different folky looking characters. So we got this little moose, we got these little mules, some little birds, and nice kind of foliage elements to finish off your tree. Something like this is perfect just on a card with a sentiment.
This one's a really easy one to do if you're new to layered stamps as well.
Yeah, start out with this one,
yeah,
and then as you get better, you can create something like this. This one here is called Pine Branches, and again, it's a really cool, festive, layered stamp. Now, make sure you have a look at the content that will be coming out because we will go into detail about how to go through a stamp like this. But the way it's going to work is that the darker elements, they are stamped on last.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. So we're going to go light to dark, but just remember that when you're creating things like this. Then we have this one is called Watercolor Flowers, and you can see why. This is one of my favorite makes ever that Jess has done because it looks like real watercolor there. It's just been stamped over, but these kind of blemishes from the watercolor here, I hope you can see that. They're what we call, and I like watercoloring, and we call them happy mistakes because they're things that you've done by accident, but give it that stylized watercolor look. And these are included as part of the stamp, so you get those happy mistakes in the stamp. Really love that one. This one here is called Hedgehogs. Now, this is a character stamp, layered stamp. We get this lovely hedgehog here, and you can see in the imagery here, you can do these in any color here. Again, that's a nice one for Valentine's Day. Hedgehogs. Then we have this one here is called gift wrap. And do you know what? I'm just going to show you this. Again, this is kind of one of the more easy ones to work with. You have just the stamped images themselves. Then you can actually play around with the different colors on there to create really cool compositions like that. You can do individual gifts or you can put them all together. And then last one, finally, and thank you if you stayed with us to the very end here. This one is called Blossom Heart. And do I need to say any more about that? This is a really, really nice stamp here, a layered stamp, because you can see all those different colors that you can get there. And this one here has been finished off with, it looks like gems.
Glitter, little bits of glitter.
Yeah, little bits of glitter. That's a really lovely card. And that is it. So if we switch onto our front-facing camera, I think we might have ran over a little bit
we
there.
Have a little bit.
On time. So
I apologise.
I hope you didn't mind, but this chapter is pretty big, so we've got loads and loads for you, so make sure you go on our website. So in the UK, that is Sizzix, or in Europe as well, that's sizzix.co.uk. In the US, that's sizzix.com. Have a look at all of this whole chapter, and I really hope that you found what we've shown you today useful, just to give you some maybe tips or just some inspiration on how you might use it. I really hope you're as excited about the chapter coming out as we are.
We are. Yeah, hopefully if you've seen anything, you can go and grab it, or you want a little bit more inspiration or information, then we've probably got loads on there, particularly with those stencils and stamps that we ran through quite quickly towards the end. I think somebody actually asked, Suzanne asked, is the tartan Thinlit? So that is part of our layered stamps, layered stencils, sorry. So if you need any more kind of info or inspiration surrounding those, there will be lots over on our socials and coming out over the next couple of weeks. And obviously all the dies and all the embossing folders for chapter 4 as well, because we've got lots of content coming away, haven't we? So
that is actually it from us. I really hope you've enjoyed watching, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.